Good Wednesday morning, everyone, and welcome into today's daily Bible reading for August the 14th. Today we are reading together Psalm number 99. The 99th Psalm has been given the title in my Bible, The King is Holy. And I believe this would be a psalm that could be categorized as a praise psalm along with a kingship psalm, which is the section that we're in from about Psalm 93 through the next Psalm, Psalm 100. There's a great deal of emphasis and focus on Yahweh as king and considering various aspects of him being king and things that should be considered whenever we think of Yahweh as being king today. The emphasis is going to be on his holiness, how he is different than us, what makes him special, what sets him apart. A couple of things that are kind of subpoints to that is that he is special in regard to his power and his sense of justice, and he's also holy and set apart in his sense of graciousness toward those who call upon his name. So let me get the text of Psalm number 99 up on the screen. We'll read together here Psalm 99 and verse number 1. Psalm 99 and verse number 1. It begins in a way that we saw Psalm 93, Psalm 97 begin, and also what we see in Psalm 96 and verse number 10, that Yahweh reigns. So Yahweh reigns, Psalm 99 verse 1. Let the peoples tremble. He is enthroned between the cherubim. Let the earth quake. Yahweh is great in Zion. He is exalted above all the peoples. Let them praise your great name and let them praise your great and awe-inspiring name. He is holy. A common refrain here at the end of verse number 3, at the end of verse number 5, and repeated in a few different words in verse number 9. Verse number 4 says, the mighty king loves justice. You have established fairness. You have administered justice and righteousness in Jacob. Exalt Yahweh our God. Bow in worship at his footstool. He is holy. Moses and Aaron were among his priests. Samuel also was among those calling on his name. They called to Yahweh, and he answered them. He spoke to them in a pillar of cloud. They kept his decrees and and the statutes he gave them. Yahweh our God, you answered them. You were a forgiving God to them, but an avenger of their sinful actions. Exalt Yahweh our God. Bow in worship at his holy mountain. For Yahweh our God is holy. Psalm number 99. Maybe I'll be able to read here in just a second. Psalm number 99. Again, as I mentioned, a common idea is presenting here that Yahweh reigns, which should immediately take our minds to him as the great king. And in response to him reigning, the people let them tremble. Let them tremble. Why? Well, because of his greatness, because of the gravity of what it means that Yahweh, the great creator of the universe, the fact that he reigns. The text tells us that he is enthroned between the cherubim, which is something that is seen back in Psalm 80 and verse number 1. And the idea here is that the Ark of the Covenant that was created and that sat in the Holy of Holy Place in the tabernacle and in the temple. This was to be Yahweh's throne. He did not have a physical throne on earth, for again, he exists and reigns from his heavenly throne. But the ark and the two cherubim that were facing one another, that was to serve as his footstool. And it was the closest that anyone could get to coming into the literal presence of God, which is why only the high priest was able to do so on the Day of Atonement once a year, once he had been purified and cleansed. So let the earth quake. Yahweh is great in Zion. He is exalted above all the people. So again, we're drawing in not just Israel, which would be the focus here, because it was the people of Israel. It was the Jewish people who had this covenant with Yahweh that included the Ark of the Covenant. But in fact, let the entire earth, let all the peoples recognize the greatness that is Yahweh. Excuse me, being great in Zion and on his holy mountain, as is mentioned in verse number 9. But let the entire earth, let everyone recognize his greatness, praise his great and awe-inspiring name. For again, the emphasis here in Psalm 99 is his holiness. The emphasis on being holy the emphasis on him being so different than us, him being special compared to us, him being set apart from us in his characteristics that are so much greater and higher than our own. So part of his holiness, part of what makes Yahweh different and special and set apart is the fact that him as the mighty king, he actually truly loves justice and he establishes fairness. He administers justice and righteousness in Jacob. Why is this important to recognize? Well, the reality is that those who are in power, well, they don't always use their power for good. Many leaders we've seen throughout the history of mankind have used their might and their power and their authority to harm others, especially those who are lacking authority. They would abuse them and hurt them and cause for actual injustice to be present within the country or the nation or the group that they're leading. But such is not the case with Yahweh. Though he is perfect in his power, though he is unmatched in his majesty, though he is exalted above all else, he does not abuse, if he even could, he does not abuse that power. He does not misuse it to hurt others or to be unfair to others, but instead he uses this power to always achieve justice, to always pursue fairness, to always seek to establish righteousness. So this certainly sets him apart whenever it comes to those who are mighty and who have great power. So therefore, verse number 5, exalt Yahweh our God and bow in worship at his footstool, because he is so just, because he is fair, because he actually pursues righteousness. Bow down in worship to him. He is holy. But a second way in which he is set apart and special and different from us in regard to and holy is in regard to his graciousness. There are three individuals mentioned here: Moses and Aaron and Samuel, all served as priestly figures before Yahweh, meaning that they interceded on the part of others. They were able to have this close relationship with Yahweh that allowed them to communicate with Yahweh in a way that others simply could not. And what this allowed for them to do then is to bring issues and problems and failures before God. And notice what happened as they called on his name. At the end of verse number 6, he answered them. Yahweh answered them. And what a blessing it is that such a great God would answer them, that he would speak to them in the pillar of a cloud, that this great king would speak to those who are his absolute subordinates. And it's not even fair to compare the level of authority really that exists between Yahweh and any person, no matter the person. But this great king would speak and communicate with those who are so much lower than him. And in response to this, then, they kept his decrees and his statutes. They showed their own faithfulness, and they showed their reverence for such a great and honored king. So verse number 8 then kind of talks about this and summarizes all this by saying, Yahweh our God, you answered them. You are a forgiving God to them. Again, his graciousness, but again, his justice exists as well. He was an avenger of their sinful actions. So whenever Moses and Aaron did sin, God did still hold them accountable because of his justice. But because of their faithfulness, because of the times whenever they did follow his decrees and hold strong to them, he showed them grace in those moments. So again, for those who are faithful, God is gracious, he is loving, he is kind. But for those who rebel, his justice is present there as well, and he would hold those things accountable. So considering the greatness of Yahweh, just how holy he is, how special and different and set apart he is in his willingness to pursue justice, but also in his desire to show graciousness. Because of that, the admonition here in verse number 9 is to exalt Yahweh our God, to bow in worship at his holy mountain, for Yahweh our God is holy. Again, he is special. He is different. He is set apart. And isn't that what we look for in someone to look up to? And in someone to really praise and hold in high regard and to hold with respect? We look for people who are different than us. Those who maybe are braver than we are. Those who have great courage. Those who have great moral character. those who show strong leadership qualities. Those are the people we look to and that we want to follow and that we want to respect and we want to show gratitude toward. But no one, no person compares in any way, shape, or form. It's even silly to even have to say that. But truly, no one compares with Yahweh. So yes, let the people tremble, but let them also bow and worship at his holy mountain. If you have any questions or comments about this psalm here, Psalm 99, please feel free to leave that in the comment section below. And I appreciate you taking some time reading along with me on this Wednesday. Looking forward to being with everybody tonight for our monthly song, scripture, and supplication service, where we'll sing and pray and read concerning the love of God and our love for him and our love for others. Just the theme of love is going to be on the schedule for tonight. So looking forward to being with everybody for that. And we'll be back reading again on Friday from Psalm number 100 as well. That will get us a third of the way through the number of the Psalms, and look forward to reading with everybody on Friday. Today is Mike and Deb's anniversary, so very happy anniversary to them. Hope that God blesses them on this day. We're thankful for their dedication to one another and for their faith to their God. Again, looking forward to seeing everybody tonight for our assembly and looking forward to reading with you again on Friday. Take care and God bless.